Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food. It's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from createyourself.today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Yesterday we missed one episode. Why did we miss it? Because my phone decided to go on vacation or retire. I don't know. I just woke up and it wasn't working. And so I had to get a new one. And because I'm using my phone to record my podcast, that's why I didn't do that. I was really disappointed. But we're going to do an additional episode of our podcast tomorrow that will be covering food news that happened over the past 2 weeks that we haven't done the food school food news episodes. So today we are talking about a very important subject that I'm working on with almost all of my clients, maybe because I attract this kind of clients, not sure, but it's about eating sweets or eating those foods that we know just don't work for us and we'd better off not eating them altogether, but still we eat them, we continue eating them. And so this podcast is about my best coaching tools and advice on how to stop eating sweets and all these other foods, or how to eat less and how to be able to stop when you start instead of having a whole gallon of ice cream, having just a few spoons. But you shouldn't have a gallon of ice cream in your home in the first place, but about that later. So how to stop eating sweets? First and foremost, what helped me, I had a huge sweet tooth. Like I could drink a whole big can of sweetened condensed milk in one sitting and then eat chocolate and cookies on top of that. No water, no sugar. That's how bad it was. And then this summer, if you haven't followed my whole journey on Instagram and my other social media where I shared it, this summer on my birthday, I attempted to eat my birthday piece of cake, and I couldn't even finish it. Like first time in my life, I started a quite amazing cake and I couldn't finish it because it felt like it was a waste. Like my body, my brain, they didn't get any pleasure out of it. But later this evening on my birthday, I had some chicken liver pate, and that I could eat a ton. I guess my body just lost completely that sweet tooth, maybe because of my keto diet and using fats for energy and not carbohydrates, maybe because my body is so full of nutrition and I'm getting all these nutrients that our bodies and our brains need on a daily basis, that my body just has no appetite for junk and foods that don't have nutrients. The problem with all those foods is, for a lot of people, when we eat those foods, we don't eat something else, something that is more nutritious, something that has essential for life nutrients. When we eat those cakes, those ice creams, those chocolates or condensed milks or cookies, we miss out on so many nutrients that we could have been eating in other foods. And I'm not talking about, just protein or healthy fats. I'm talking about all those vitamins, vitamin A, vitamin E, D, potassium, magnesium, phosphorus, like all these other things. It's hard enough to get those from whole foods when you eat that whole food almost entirely. And then on top of that, if you eat a lot of calories from all these junk or snacky foods that are nutritionally either empty or very poor when it comes to micronutrients, then you're just not eating, again, all these other essential for life nutrients. And that's why I personally believe our health as a population globally suffers a lot, because those foods, they substitute more nutritious foods. And so how do we stop eating those sweets? Well, first and foremost, again, what helped me is when I started eating nutritious, full of nutrients diet, when I started doing my best, putting all my effort into creating those meals that satisfy maximum needs for micro and macronutrients that are essential for human health, not for cow's health or monkey's health, but for human health. That's when I really started to lose those cravings. And now I can 100% say that I have no cravings. And somebody might say I have an iron willpower against sweets and everything, but I don't ever feel like I'm using my willpower. I just honestly have no desire for those snacks, for those sweets and those kinds of foods that are nutritionally empty. So first and foremost, guys, you need to eat as much nutrition as possible. Because if you're starving yourself, if you're always on some sort of diet, if you're always under eating those nutrients, you might be eating calories, but you are not eating nutrients that you need, those vitamins and minerals that your body needs, then you're going to be having cravings. You're gonna have cravings for anything, and because our body is not that precise machine, it's gonna be hard for your body and your brain to realize what exactly you are craving for. So we end up eating at least, that dense source of calories that also hacks our brain. Those sugars and fats, in the most processed form, plus all the additives, all the flavorings, all the colors that makes it so exciting and appealing, all the marketing, all the advertising, all the smells. It makes it so appealing. And on top of us being malnourished, not having all the nutrition that we need, that creates those cravings. And so have nutritious meals. That's your first line of defense. Have regular meals and stop starving yourself for nutrients. So that's number one. And then also, guys, it's just having a meal before eating sweets. A lot of times you would go for sweets because you're simply hungry. And so if you have a meal, vegetables, some protein, some healthy fats, and then allow yourself to decide after your meal whether you want that dessert or not, that also will cancel a lot of times your craving for those sweets. Like a lot of my clients ask me, how do I stop eating sweets or some junk food at night? And very often the solution is really simple. Eat a meal and don't starve yourself. And then it will be much easier for you to stop eating anything that might not be as beneficial for your body. So stop having this conversation whether you eat junk or you eat nothing. No, have a nutritious meal. And then, you decide allow yourself to decide after that meal, eating slowly. Do you still want that, junk food? I hardly ever see a person who has a nutrition meal, who is full with healthy foods, and then they want to eat a whole bunch of junk. It really happens unless you became so addicted to those foods. But again, for most people, it's not the case. It's not that. It just, most of you guys, you're literally starving yourself. You might be overfed with calories, but you are malnourished, meaning you miss certain nutrients. And again, just have a meal before deciding to have a snack or have that sweet or have that ice cream, that cookie. And believe me, guys, in most cases you won't even need that cookie, or you will eat much less of it, because our stomach has limits. And especially if you eat slowly, especially if you chew your food, especially if you really connect with your food instead of watching TV, or instead of, I don't know, checking your phone while eating, if you really dedicate your attention to food, you'll be surprised how much less you're gonna eat, how much less cravings you're gonna have, and how much more satisfied you're gonna feel overall. Like, a lot of you guys also might be hungry because you're just not paying attention to your food. Like my personal example, whenever I do something while eating, like maybe watching TV, maybe checking my email, maybe checking my social media, maybe learning something or watching some course, I always end up being more hungry than if I just eat my meal and maybe, you know, share it with my friends or with my family, having a conversation, but still being fully immersed in that eating experience. So try that too, guys. Just eat your food. Another thing is, don't buy, you know, gallons of ice cream for home. Eat it out. A lot of my clients always tell me, you know, what do? I can't stop eating this gallon of ice cream once I start eating it. And I always ask, why do you have a gallon of ice cream in your house? Like, have it out. If you want to have it at home, buy a single serving. Yeah, it might be more expensive, but that will motivate you to not waste your money more. So buy small portions. They sell them these days, even though in US, for example, they tend to oversize everything, but find those small portions, or completely eliminate it from your house. Eat it out somewhere else, and make your family, make your kids, make your loved ones do the same. It's going to work better for them too. Your kids will also have meals, you know, your spouses will also have meals instead of having snacks, instead of having junk. You know, we all have those moments when we want to reach out for that cookie when we should just have a meal, right? So don't have them at home. Make it a special occasion. Eat out. Buy single servings. The next one, that came actually from a friend of mine. So delete all delivery apps. I never actually was a user of delivery apps much, for many different reasons. I just always like my food in a certain very particular way, and I want to know exactly what goes into that food. And through delivery app, that's difficult to accomplish in most places, unless it's like just sell it, or you know, something that is really healthy to begin with. But a lot of people, you know, it became so easy for you. It might be, you know, be so easy for you to just order food, order those, you know, pancakes, or order those cakes delivered to your home. It might be so easy, you know, just push the button or touch your screen and it's at your doorstep in a few minutes. So just eliminate them. Delete all the delivery apps. It might seem like a small step, but you'd be surprised how much less you're gonna order if you have to like install the app every time, and then you have to put your payment information in there. So delete all, you know, all the payment information from your phone too, if you want to take one step further. And again, you'd be surprised how much less often you're gonna order stuff. And plus, you know, it's gonna help you to not waste money on something you might not need in the first place, avoiding all these impulse purchases. So delete all the delivery apps and your payment information from your phone. Don't walk in aisles with cookies, with cakes, with ice creams, don't walk by ice cream fridges looking at the best deal or a new flavor. What you pay attention to, you're gonna eventually get by, think more of, it's gonna pop up in your attention, and eventually you're gonna end up eating them. So one of the hacks that I personally use, and I always tell my clients to do, is stop again watching ice cream commercials. Stop looking at all sorts of cookies that you're gonna buy one day once your diet is over. Stop walking in those sweets aisles. Instead, walk in the aisles where they sell, flaxseed crackers. That's like my recent obsession. Or foods for healthy people, superfoods, all kinds of seafood, all kinds of healthier snacks, all sorts of vegetables and nuts and seeds and all these other foods. Walk there, find out what new and exciting in those healthier aisles. Walk in farmers market. You really, it's mind-blowing how well it works when you commit to doing that. You might be thinking, it doesn't matter, I'm still gonna have those cravings, but no, it matters. The less you expose your mind to those stimuli, to those reminders of those foods that you want to stop eating, the less you're gonna want them. There is that saying, out of sight, out of mind, and that's true. Because it's true, there is that saying. So the less you look at something, the less you're gonna think of it, and the less you're gonna eat it. So don't walk in those seduction aisles or snack food aisles. Another case that people are struggling with, celebrations, going out, different parties. Like, people ask me, what do I do there? I go there and I always feel like everybody's snacking on something and I gotta be snacking on something too. And my best advice, guys, that will work automatically without you having to do any thinking or exercising your willpower, is have a good nutritious meal right before you go. Have a lot of protein, have a lot of vegetables, drink a lot of water, do all these steps, eat all these foods, and again, you'd be surprised how much less appetite for other stuff you have. It's just simple. Our stomach has limits, and especially if you eat before that event, your body will have time to digest that food and realize that, a lot of nutrients are coming. So there is no need to snack on all of these delicious and, tempting items and snacks and, all sorts of stuff that you can find at parties and celebrations. So it might not make a lot of sense at first. You are going somewhere where food is offered, but if your health is more important to you, then do this. It really works. It really helps. Just have a meal and then go and, experiment with eating a meal and not eating a meal and see how much more or how much less of those snacky foods you're gonna eat. And then a few other advice that I find helps me. Eat in company. Share that dessert, share that piece of cake, share that ice cream with your girlfriends, your boyfriends, your kids. And that's how you end up having less, but enjoying it more. Eat slowly. This is a huge thing, guys. I don't know about you personally, but from my experience and experience with a lot of my clients, we tend to eat really fast those foods that we think are bad for us. And the faster we eat, the more we eat. So if you slow down it, like really slow down it, chew every piece till it's, that sort of like smoothie kind of consistency, let it melt in your mouth. The slower you go, the less you eat, because again, your brain will get this signal that you are getting a lot of nutrients, you are getting maybe poor nutrition, but you're still getting a lot of sensory experiences. And again, you'd be surprised how well it works. Slow down, just slow down. Like eat twice as slow or 3 times as slow, and you'll eat much, much less. And so that's it for today, guys. Those are my best pieces of advice, my best strategies, my best tools to stop eating those foods that you know don't work for you and you'd like to eat less or stop them altogether. So again, to recap, number one is have nutritious meals, have them on schedule, so you're not starving, because starving yourself, hunger, that will cause all of those binges and overeating instances. So have a meal that is full of fiber and vegetables, that full of protein, that full of healthy fats. Eat it slow, and you'll end up wanting anything like exponentially less. And then don't have those things in your house. Eat out, eat in company, share those things, eat slowly. But again, the most important thing is to have proper meals, and especially if you know that at night, for example, you tend to overeat on those snacks, then really just have a meal. Don't starve yourself. Don't try to over exercise your willpower. Just have a meal, and again, you'd be surprised how much less of that food you want. And that's it for today, guys. If you have any questions, if you have a specific problem you'd like to address, if you like specific strategies for your situation, well, first of all, schedule the express session that is offered to you in the show notes. And then always feel free to ask your questions following the link that is also in the show notes, guys. So there is an answer, and you're not broken. You just not that good yet at managing certain habits, not that good at working with your brain, working with your mind, working with your instincts. And so as soon as you do some exercises, working on improving them, you're going to get better. And those things that you don't want to be eating, you're not going to be eating. And just like for me, one day you might have a piece of that cake and understand that it does nothing for you, and so you go on doing whatever you were doing instead of eating the whole piece of cake or the whole cake. That happened to me also in the past. So thank you guys for tuning in. Schedule our express session, ask your questions, and as usual, till next time, eat better daily.